What Up? It's Interview Style, where we talk about movies or whatever. I think we should have recurring segments. And one of these segments that I just came up with is called Change My Mind. Are you familiar with this meme?
No.
This is the guy who's like on a college campus, and he's like, avocado is the best fruit. Change my mind. And he's inviting discourse or debate. So we're going to have a debate today on Or Whatever Movies about your favorite movie.
Of all time? 1997's James Cameron's Titanic?
I'm going to pose an argument, and you are going to change my mind. These are not all from me. Some of them are from the internet. Are you ready?
Go.
Did Rose murder Jack by saying, you jump, I jump?
Shouldn't you phrase it like Rose murders Jack by saying you jump, I jump, change my mind?
Yes. Rose murdered Jack by leaving the lifeboat.
No, Wes, I wouldn't even call it manslaughter. There's no guarantee that Jack would have gotten to a lifeboat, that Jack would have had the motivation to find the door or something to hang on to. Yeah, he's a survivor or whatever, but if he couldn't do it with Rose, what's to say that he could have done it on his own?
Maybe he couldn't. Rose murdered Jack by just chilling obliviously on the piece of wood and singing to herself while he died.
I mean, I get it. It's like an inflammatory comment or whatever, but murder one implies intent. She did not intend for Jack to die. In fact, it was quite the opposite, and it was worth more to Jack to spend that much more time with her. At least that's my romantic notion, than it was for them to part when they did, even if she was safe.
Okay. What say you to the assertion that Jack and Rose together sank the Titanic by macking and distracting the dudes in the crow's nest?
I'm afraid I can't change your mind on this because although I think the intention was to put Jack and Rose at the center of this story, I think the unintended outcome was that, yes, the revisionist history in James Cameron Titanic suggests that Jack and Rose distract the, what did you call them? The watchmen?
Dudes in the crow's nest?
A crow's nest.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if that's what we have to do to keep warm, then forget it. And then they shrug it off, focus in on the iceberg, which means that it was already there and visible. I mean, it's a very egocentric way to approach this historical event, but it does keep them at the center of the story.
Bruce Ismay should have gone down with the ship and suffered an unnecessary death.
Listen, it's completely in character, in line with the Ismay character, for him to chicken out and hop on the lifeboat.
See, now I'm coming over and grabbing the mic from your podium. There was nobody else there. There were no women and children he was pushing out of the way and stepping on to get into the lifeboat. There was no reason for him to be like, lower away when there was room.
Well,
that dude, the other guard, he didn't help lower the lifeboat by waving his arms up and down. He could have climbed in too and be like, sorry, rope dudes, you have to lower the rope.
He could have orchestrated the rope lowering from inside of the boat. That's my counter argument, is that the ropeman, foreman guy didn't jump in the boats because it's their duty.
Brock Lovett deserved the heart of the ocean.
Brock Lovett does get the heart of the ocean in an alternate version ending of the Titanic, which arguably may have been better because Brock can still have his arc and realization moment that he never let it in and still get the thing that he had been searching for all of his life. Because what good does it do anybody at the bottom of the ocean? It's not like the Coeur de la Mer, like it was a cursed stone or something and ruining people's lives, and it's best to leave it undisturbed at the bottom of the ocean for all of eternity.
Right? I think it's what caused Jack Sparrow and everybody to come back in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean. It's Caribbean when you're talking about the movie or Disneyland. So the practical part of me screams out every single time she does that pathetic little oops and drops the heart of the ocean into I'm like, no.
All right. Hockley selflessly saved an abandoned little girl and accompanied her to safety and a long life.
Okay, intentions aren't everything. But we know at this point in this story that he's only selfishly motivated and immediately abandons that girl the moment he needs to save his own skin.
When she's safely in the arms of a lady?
Basically, does it erase a good deed if it's done out of entirely selfish motivations?
That's a happy byproduct. I mean,
sure.
Would the kid have made it into a lifeboat if no one was looking out for her?
I mean, maybe eventually, but the point is to illustrate his selfishness. The action in the story functions to reinforce just what an unimaginable bastard he is.
Yeah. Okay. On the theme of selfishness, Homeboy was correct when he told Molly to shut that hole in your face, because going back for what she called your men out there totally would have resulted in them being swamped when all those panicked people wouldn't listen to reason and would do anything they could to get in those boats.
Those lifeboats were tested in Belfast with 50 men.
Yes, more of which were in the water and waterlogged.
They could have strategically gone back to save a few people, and it also would have led the charge of the other boats going back to save a few more people.
Jeanette Goldstein, who died in all 3 of the James Cameron movies she starred in, spoiler, was murdered by her children because they slowed her down and she couldn't escape steerage to get to a lifeboat with the first-class ladies.
Okay, so we see her and she says, we have to wait for the other people to get on the boats, don't we? Or something like that. And the babies very obediently agree with her. And then the next time we see her, she's telling them the story of Tiernan and Nod or whatever in the bed?
Sure. They gave it up. Gave up the ghost.
She was going to die anyway. They were all going to die.
Okay. And that leads me to my contention. I contend that way more people would have survived if they had all massed together and shared their body warmth. And I get it, the sea is going to kill you eventually. But if you rotate people in and out of the center of this giant raft of people, you can keep people warm on the inside. And then when people die, as they're inevitably going to do, you tie their life vests together and you make a floating raft of human bodies and you scramble on top.
Like penguins.
And that'll save them like it did Rose, who climbed out of the water.
If people had adopted the Antarctic penguin strategy of just all huddling together and riding out the storm, could more people have lived?
Or if they were all going to die, if you gut them as soon as they die and flood the water with their blood and bask in it, you can maybe stave it off for a few more minutes.
Wow.
Right. I mean, you'll die when your body reaches like a temperature of like 70 degrees or something, but 70 degrees is infinitely warmer than the Atlantic.
I think that Fabrizio could have orchestrated this. All you needed was a leader to organize the peoples, flailing about individually in the water.
Not because he's Italian and probably had a switchblade?
I mean, they also could have tied all their life vests together and then climbed on top of those.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah, well, or stripped the bodies of the life vests and used those.
They just didn't have enough time to organize.
They had hours. It took hours to sink the ship. Here's what we're going to do, guys. Jack had a plan. Look out for more of our Change My Mind segments here at Or Whatever Movies in Interview Style. Okay, thanks for playing. Love you. Bye.
Electric acid.